I was thinking about doing a kind of, I don't know, weird entry where I'd be like, welcome to the makeup chair. But then I decided not to. Vampire look. This is my take on vampire look, but the great thing about vampire costumes and stuff is totally up to you. I mean, you can go for the traditional kind of thing with the big collar and the tie thing and the cape, but you could also go for something a little bit more your kind of style. So like for me, it's kind of dark clothing, long earrings, got my black nail varnish on, which is, I think it's the Rimmel one. I only have one layer on, so it kind of looks a little bit more grey. And then I also have some beads. These beads are kind of fun. I picked them up in pennies, I think, for like a few euro or something. But you can just mix them up. Like I have one on my arm, which I just twisted around a few times. Or you can have it on your neck like this, and you can just play around with the shape that you want to create and stuff like that. And then these earrings are actually from Dunn's as well as my ring. My purple, dark purple ring. Oh, and these are from Dunn's, I think, as well. I really hope you enjoyed this. Stick to the end of the video. I talk about how I kind of did my hair and stuff. Okay, so I've already done one side of my face. I'm going to show you guys how to do the other. I know my lighting's not great, but it's very, very, very bright outside. And my pink is just showing up far too much. So I hope that with the white light that I have here, it might balance it off a little bit. But it might not be absolutely perfect. I also have to apologise for the noise in the background because they are actually taking down a shed next door. So I'm going to try and do this video. So the very first thing that you want to do is you want to do your foundation. I'm going to be using quite a pale foundation. Now if you don't have a pale foundation but you have a white face paint, you can actually mix that up with a pale foundation. You get a nice texture. So I'm going to be using a very pale foundation. And a little bit of pale concealer as well. And we're just going to be placing this over the face. I've already done my primer and I've already done a first coat of foundation because I really want to kind of white out the face and get it to be like super kind of flat almost. And then we're going to go in and we're going to add some depth in there. Powder the face. I'm going to be using my powder puff. Taking a very light powder. I'm actually using the e.l.f. blemish powder. I know it's not ideal, but it's very light and it gives the skin a very nice light colour. And then I'm going to be also using some transparent 001 by Rimmel. And it's a very light colour as well. So I'm just going to use that. Powder the face. Reason why we're powdering the face is it's just going to help that foundation to last a little bit longer, as well as look a little bit kind of flatter, duller, kind of, you know, the way that vampires kind of look, that kind of almost porcelain skin. We're going to move on to adding some depth in that face. I'm going to be using a mauve colour. This is actually a L'Oreal, but I think it's discontinued, but it's this nice mauve colour. What you can also do is kind of use a mixture of a blush, like a dusty pink, dark pink blush with some bronzer, and you kind of get the same effect because it's quite a dark colour and you probably can't see, but it kind of creates this shadow right here. So you want to just look down in the mirror, see how you can kind of see that angle, or what you can do is you can just tap here. See, my cheekbone is there because my there's a little hollow in there. The hollow is what you want to hit, so it's from the ear down. Also, I was thinking maybe it's when you use the phone, it's that kind of shape because it's from your ear here. But don't bring it too far in. If you brought it too far in, it can kind of look like you have a beard. So like a shadow, 5 o'clock shadow kind of thing. So yeah, just bring it in to about here. Not bring it in too far. If you brought it in too far, just use a little bit of the powder, go back over it again, so you'll be fine. So kind of look down, get in there, and I'm using an angle brush. You can also kind of do that as well. You're just kind of creating more of a hollow, kind of giving it that gaunt, kind of skinnier face or something. And these kind of mauve colours, this reddy brown, really kind of gives that good shadow. Okay, so we're going to move on to the eyes. It's very, very easy. Now you can use a primer if you want, or you can just take a little bit of your powder, which I'm going to do, and just dab it over the eyelids. That's going to prevent against creasing if you have slightly kind of oilier lids, and that you tend to have a problem with it kind of getting that line here and it feels a bit greasy. Just by doing this, it's going to mattify that area, so the shadows should go on a little bit better. So we're first of all going to start off by using this colour here, which is this really pretty dusty pink, I don't know what kind of colour, kind of like a burnt pink, I guess. So we're going to take it onto a nice kind of brush like this. We're going to tap it on. There, we're going to slowly blend outwards. So I've placed it out here, not in the outer part of the eye, but out here. Then we're going to slowly blend it. And it does have a shimmer to it, but you can use matte if you like. The shape that I want to create is kind of elongate the eyes a little bit. So I'm actually going to be doing a shape like this, going like up and then down again. If you wanted to kind of create more rounded shape, you'd actually just keep going over and back in kind of a semicircle. So your highest point would be here, but my highest point is going to be slightly out here, so I kind of elongate my eyes a little bit. But it's really up to your own natural eye shape. Just follow the natural shape of your brows, kind of. Because mine kind of like, my arch is here, so I'm going to bring down to my highest point to be there. I'm actually going to bring this colour underneath. I wouldn't normally bring this colour underneath the eye because it would give a kind of shadowed, like under eye circle, under eye redness. But that's kind of what we want to do today, so that's why I'm bringing it underneath the eye a little bit. So we are going to take this brown, which is this nice kind of almost reddy brown again. I think it's like a maroon colour. It's more like a maroon colour. I'm going to do the same thing where you bring it on the outer part of the eye, but instead of bringing it all the way across the lid, you're actually just going to bring it into the crease, which is right in there, that shadow that's created from my eyelid, and then blend it upwards. And then you can bring it down a little bit, but you're not bringing it into like the lid in here. And this is actually creating more of a depth to the original colour. I'm just going to dust off what was on my brush and do slightly kind of circular motions on that outer part. So not down here, but on the outer line, so it blends a little bit. Because otherwise it can look a little bit too harsh. We're going to use the matte brown, which is in this kit as well. So this matte brown. Take a little bit of that, and we are going to, create more depth still by placing this, not where we placed it down here before, but a little bit higher. So where your natural kind of above your crease. Follow the shape of your brows again, and you're going to blend this into the crease. Don't worry about adding black because we're going to be doing that in a while. This is just getting your first kind of shape. Now we're going to add that black that we have in there. So I'm going to be using a soft pencil. This is actually W7 pencil. It's deluxe gel pencil, so it's slightly softer, so it means we can blend it. It also has a little blender on the edge, but what you can do instead of using this, if you don't have one of these kind of spongy things, you can use a sponge tip applicator that comes with eyeshadow, or you could try using a Q-tip. That'll work as well. So what we're going to do is going to line the waterline, which is that line right in there. So if you slightly pull it down, you can actually see it. But I like to place mine in there instead of pulling at the eyes. So you're just going to bring it all the way in to the inner part of the eye. Don't worry about making mistakes with this, because as long as you don't drag it all the way down your face, it's going to be fine because we're going to be blending it. And I'm also going to do the upper part, which is right up there. The reason why I'm going to just stick it in and pull it across is because it makes it so much easier. So what you're going to do is you're going to place it on the bottom lash, your bottom kind of liner, waterline. Close your eyes, let it run across and slightly tilt it upwards. And you will feel if you're doing it right, because obviously you won't be poking yourself in the eye. And you'll have a little bit of resistance. So I'm just going to let it run across like that. Turn it around, use a sponge tip and blend it to get that nice smoky look to the eye. Now the way to do this correctly is not to bring it down too far when it's in the inner part of the eye. See how this is clean right here on this part? That's what you want to keep. You can bring the colour, the dark black down here a little bit, but you don't want to bring it in too far in the inner part of the eye because it will not create a nice shape. And then we're going to do the upper part. See how this is dark? So that's what we're going to do on the other side. So you're just going to place a little bit of the liner just in the outer part of the eye like that. Then you're going to take the sponge tip and you're just going to blend it into the crease, which is like the hollow of your eye. Next you're going to add some mascara. So I'm just going to curl my natural lashes and then add lots of mascara here. Okay, so we finished the eyes and I'm actually going to fill in my eyebrows just to add a little bit more shape to the eyes. So you're going to take either a dull brown eyeshadow or you can take this little kind of pot like this. And you can just shape your eyebrows into place. So I want to create kind of an arch for this look. So I'm going to go a little bit higher than I usually would. And then drop it down once I get up to my highest point. So now we're going to move on to a little bit of contouring on the nose. And this is just an extra step. You don't actually have to do it, so try not to worry about it too much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same brush that we were using on our eyes. So it looks like that. I'm going to take a brown eyeshadow. You can actually use the brow kit one I'm using here, but it doesn't really matter too much. Just a shade or two darker, provided it's matte and that it blends quite well. If you find that it blends quite well, then you can use it. We're going to create more of a shape of the actual nose. So now we're going to move on to the lips. I'm going to do a little kind of funny trick with the lips here. First of all, I'm going to take some lip gloss, which is actually a lip stain kind of lip gloss. We're going to do the whole lips in this. Now here is the little trick to get those really kind of dark, kind of gothic lips. I'm actually going to take that same pencil that I used on the eyes, sharpen it so it's nice and clean, so you're not kind of spreading anything. You're going to line the lips with this. It's kind of a weird thing to do, but my sister did this once for a theatre group. I just thought it was so cool. Okay, then you're going to take your lip brush and you're going to blend this out. Well, kind of blend it in is what I mean to say. Or blending it, but you're kind of blending it into the lips. You just want to make sure that the edges are quite clean as well, because you don't want it to be seeping over. Especially when it's red lips like this. Now all you have to do is add some fangs and you are pretty much done. Now I did pick up some fangs in Tesco's last night for like 10 cents or something, but they were kind of really bad. So yeah, so just picking up some fangs have totally set this look off. For my hair, all I've done is I've backcombed two sections. So like one section back here, got it quite high, then I just slightly flattened it, and then I did my bangs as well, backcombed my bangs and then swept them back. Used a lot of hairspray on the hair just to keep it back and up. Then I pinned the sides. Now what you can do with the back, what's all left over back here, you can either curl it, you can gel it so it looks kind of wet and keep it straight, like you can straighten it first of all, or you can just straighten it anyway, you don't have to add the gel. But yeah, it's just kind of a really fun thing to do. So I really hope that you enjoyed this look. I'm Sineadycady. Thanks for watching.